The Sasties group ended up being complete and utter total blowout today. We're gonna have Frost Boss, Void Form, Kreiser, who's gonna be going up first, and Bam X compete first versus a different team. We got ourselves Effective in the back. We also got a Mega in here. How you doing, my man? Fruity Dad in here, SOS, and Christina Cutie is gonna be up first. How you doing, Cutie Pie? How you doing, Christina? We got a subscribe getting opened up on by the Feral has a succubus not going for a second to see in the opener. Bash out to Kreiser with a bike to follow it. A Reaping Flames are after dropping down the Infernal onto Christina's head immediately with a Cataclysm right after. Got himself Dark Soul stability ready to go. Horror Vector Christina might be a trinket out of the Feral. Does trinket but runs into a wall. I think he still needs a Chaos Bolt though. Oh my goodness, still needs a Chaos Bolt. But I said, you know what, trinket for those cooldowns? I might as well burn it. Trying to get the hell away from Kreiser. Kreiser might just have to go for a gateway setup here if he wants to make any of the plays here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go for a gateway. Try to see if he can maybe get around to Christina. Could maybe go for Succubus CC. If you can somehow just catch him with a Succubus CC for just a quick second. Does go for a gateway. Catch Christina for a second. The Infernal is gonna be gone for now though. Does catch him with a Fear. Still maybe Casable traded. Nope, does not have the ability to. Christina looks like he decided to throw everything at Kreiser to get away from the Infernal and the big Chaos Bolt damage. Actually going to be swapping to a Fell Hunter here for a second. Let's see if he ends up staying with it. Trinketing out of the Feral opener. Destro coming out for Christina. Does get a big Skull Bash out to Kreiser. Is going to have to go for a Warlock Hudson here a little bit early. Into a Death Call, into a Fear spam. Full Fear, allowing Chaos Bolts and Shadow Furies to go. Finally, Kreiser gets to answer to the Feral's transgressions. Is able to finally punish him. But the pillars here in Mugambala are going to be quite massive. Kreiser swap it to an interrupt pet onto Christina so he can actually take off HOTS, which is not a bad idea. But also he can interrupt him when he goes for a recast. I guess I decided, no, Succubus CC, not really something I can actually take advantage of in this game. Trying to land a Fear to Christina, didn't want to get bashed on. That's going to be a Thorns over Christina. Did he try to bash Kreiser and get juked on? Might have actually. It's going to be a Chaos Bolt. It was another Malate Fresh for Kreiser. Tried to go for a Fear onto Christina, but only has an Incinerate. The Christina is going to go for resets here, man. This is a perfect place for a Feral to do so. But even though they're going for resets, they got some bleeds into Kreiser. Is doing a little bit of damage. And then basically just have to maintain those bleeds at all times and try to take as little of that Chaos Bolt damage as possible. It's going to be huge Chaos Bolt, getting Christina quite low. Kreiser could really make a huge play out of it. It's going to be bashed to Kreiser with a bike to follow. Christina got the bleeds on the guy, hopefully, but needs to go for a massive re-heals. That pet is not going to allow him to get any kind of heals back up. Christina is actually not in a good position, cannot get away from Kreiser, can't even go for a cast heal while coming down. Does Kreiser have anywhere to see? Looks like he used that call a little bit earlier. Fear into Christina does connect. He fears trinkets out of it. Trying to go for Shadow Fury. That's going to be a second wall for Christina as Chaos Bolts are flying. Kreiser actually super low in health. It could be anyone's game. Fear does connect. Fear Chaos Bolt to follow. When the Cataclysm right after, I think Christina might be done for. Kreiser does end up capping them out at the very end, but he has no health at all versus Omega. I think it's going to be end to his run. Trinkets, Death Coil, keeping him alive for a second. Walling right now, trying to get the dots. Stone him short and Kreiser. Does Omega have Trinkets to follow? Infernal does connect here. Kreiser needs to go for heals as much as possible. Is actually going to go hyper offensive with Omega. Fear after two Chaos Bolts might have actually ended him right here. Oh my god, Omega's health is just nowhere to be found. Into a Conflagrate right after. Does he have enough? Oh my god, Kreiser! My man came back out of that one at super low health, not giving up whatsoever, has a gateway if he can get away from effective. How effective this man gonna be, man. Kreiser, you're just making me go through a whole nother set of puberty, my dude. That's gonna be a Succubus CC. He could Zerker Rage on it if he wanted to. Kreiser is going to kind of sit away from effective, try to get the studs, and might have to go for a gateway hero a little bit early. Oh my goodness, that just came out of nowhere. Omega came in and Kreiser, you know, was like, all right, real shit, game mode, let's go boys, gamer time right here. That was insane. Destro Warlocks, dude, are so nutty in damage. It's not. Kreiser, I think, is just waiting for a Death Coil to deal versus Effect. That's going to be a Stormbolt stopping him for just a second. He is not going to take too much damage. Reflect is available. Can't reflect that Death Coil onto himself. That'd be really bad. But though, I do believe he still heals. That's going to be Fear into Effective. Looks like he does not have Zerker Rage out of that one. That's going to be Conflact to slow him with a Succubus to give him extra slows. Effective is going to break out of the slows immediately, though. So for Kreiser, that's really not good. Next Stormbolt could be huge. Deathstroke Chicken comes out for effective maybe a little bit early. Trying to see if he might be able to go for a Chaosbolt. Looks like he breaks out of that Selective CC with a Blade Storm. Stormbolt onto the Chaosbolt. Tries to trick us out of the Stormbolt. Trying to get a Chaosbolt up and running. Looks like no kicks available for effective. Does not get reflected on by that Chaosbolt. Trying to get it cast off. Get actually juked on. No, he get interrupted on a Fear. Try to get away from effective for a second. Stun came down, but looks like he trick us out of that immediately. Fear short onto effective. Does Kaiser have any more heals whatsoever? Down he goes with barely any health left. Effective does effectively take him out into a charge on the Frost boss as he engages with the effective immediately, going for the stun, popping every whammy that a Frost DK has. Tried to see if he could chain down effective. He's not going anywhere, man. Stormbolt to follow. Does he have a Katiko? I think that might have been what ended Kreiser just there, because he must have had some sort of a bleed for all those Azeroths to proc from. Now it's going to be effective, taking a brunt of damage from Frost Boss, looking to leap away, still holding on to Enrage Regeneration, commanding Shout, but that's going to be Frost Boss with so much consistency as a Death Knight. It's going to be almost impossible to deal with. Effective might just have to effectively go and pop as many cooldowns as he can just to survive this. Is going to go for that Enrage Regeneration, actually recovering the health before the gets super high. Another Bloodthirst comes out. Does he get another one? Third Bloodthirst maybe? Does not get the third Bloodthirst. But that's going to be a lot of healing he needs. He basically needs to press Bloodthirst on cooldown. Destry got chicken out to Frost Boss. It does a little bit of damage, but not nearly as much as we've seen before. I guess he just didn't crit. Or maybe the plate armor versus Frost Boss is just so difficult to break through. Effective. Trying to stay effective here. And as long as he just kind of maintain his own health, I think he'll win. Sacred Chicken coming out. It's not really looking good for him. Goes for a Blaze Storm, I guess, trying to dodge a stun maybe. And maybe he was going for he just needs to get away from Frostboss for a second, get those Bloodthirsts off. You need a lot of haste in order to make that happen. That's going to be Frostboss. Get some cooldowns rolling. Effective is bailing out of there. Does pop a Reflect in case Frostboss goes for a grip, or maybe he goes for a stun, or he goes for a Chain of Ice. So he does secure himself the getaway. He needs to get more heals. It's going to be a Stormbolt. Lynchburg coming up for Frostboss, and effective just doesn't have anything left. Frostboss just clapped him out at the end, and SOS is going to be up next. Does he go for a Kindle Shot? Did he try to Kindle Shot Frostboss while Lynchburg was up? I think that might have been a mistake. Did this rogue use his Kindle Shot early? I guess we'll know for sure. He's not. Oh, there goes the stun. And so he did not. That's going to be adaptation out of Frostboss, though, as the bite coming out hits him. Takes a bit of damage. Still has Death Pact, though, if he needs to. And that's going to be SOS bailing out of there with advantage. Going to have a Frost Fury that will take him out of stealth, though. Frostboss had quite a bit of cooldowns rolling after there, though. It is not going to be able to catch that reset onto... Oh, wait, no, he got... It was dotted up, so the sap didn't sit, but the cheap shot does stop him. Getting the shot does put him in a bad spot. With a Maledict rolling, does get an AMS rolling. Is going to be able to break through with Mally. Got himself Temporal rolling. SOS got evasion, though, denying the healing for Frostboss. He has to make sure he isn't turning his back to Frostboss. He's not gonna dodge a single thing, turning his back to the DK. Better be facing him. Frostboss with barely any health. Another Kidney Shot is going to be the end to him. Better be going for a Death Pact soon here before a Kidney Shot comes out. Not looking good. Does go for a Death Pact. Gets himself a little bit of health. Still continuing to heal through all the necrotics, the self-inflicted necros of Death Pact. And he might be able to be okay here. SOS going for a bit of a heal. Gets quite a huge healing from his sippy cup. Frostboss. What? Huh? I mean, the rogue was low on health, but I don't know what killed him. And then Fruity Dad just instantly executed Frostboss. Was that just like a huge proc or something? Crazy. Fruity Dad tried to get himself a breath onto Void Form. That's going to be silence out of the Shadow Priest, though. Is going to be able to get his base dots rolling onto Fruity Dad in the opener. I don't know what happened to that rogue. He just kind of popped. That's going to be Rod Tricky coming down into Fruity Dad, eliminating the Siphon immediately. Fear to Follow is going to get him CC'd for just a second. Got him some big combustions rolling to Void Form. Does not have a greater fate against this. Is going to have to go for Disperse a little bit early here. I guess they already put that cooldown on better. That's going to be, I think, Stars by Fruity Dad. He's getting the stars setting up onto Mindbender. He really needs to get the stars rolling onto Void Form instead, though. Just try to get Scorches off of the pet. Try to see if he can eliminate it. Void Form does have a full heal. He is doing fairly healthy. Fruity Dad is going to have himself quite a hell of a game. He needs to go for Greater Pyro Blast, essentially. Polymorph Greater Pyro is coming out onto Void Form. Has a Trinket with a Silence to follow. Able to get the dots up and running. The more pressure he puts on the Fruity Dad, the better. Probably needs to take away that Temporal as ASAP. That's going to be a Polymorph final landing onto Void Form. Greater Pyro Blast, go to connect. Does not send the Polymorph long at all, though it was heavily DR'd. We're kind of waddling out of that Meteor for a second. Pyroblast trying to make a way to Void Form, but that was going to be great to Fade in order to dodge a lot of those spells. Fruity Dad needs to get himself a Ring of Frost here if he wants to take down Void Form. Right now would be a pretty good time to do it, actually. Polymorph, Greater Pyro, Ring of Frost, Greater Pyro. That would actually be perfect to do it as long as none of the dots break anything. Greater Pyro connecting. Ring of Frost to follow. Does it make it? Does make it. Void Form actually. Oh no! It looks like someone of Fruity Dad's one of his trays just slapped Void Form. Is going to interrupt him on the massive spell as he was going to be forced out of his ice block. Trying to do as much as cast damage back to Void Form, but that's going to be a stun lock. Void Form just needs to max out the damage ASAP here. Fruity Dad is on his last legs. Does Greater Fade that breath though? That's going to be a little bit of self-healing to catch up. Siphon stopping and healing for Fruity Dad. It is looking to get the hell out of this scot-free. The dots are still on him. No! That Shadow Priest play at the end, though, it was actually pretty good. Cryzer came in, slapped these boys around. Frostboss got a surprising kill on that rogue, and Bam Max never got to play. Alright, boys, let's move on to the next one, yeah? I think it's time, man. I think it's time to move on to the next one. Cryzer here. We have to do a Naked Monk who wants to 1v5. We have a Naked Monk that wants to 1v5, like actually naked, no gear. He'll have to wait, I guess, dude. I don't know. He'll just have to wait. Why is him in here? Group ready? Awesome, awesome.